if I get it right, most of you already know Git and use Git. So perhaps we will change that a bit and get deeper into the Git internals. So to adjust the talk so that everyone can benefit, first let me ask some questions. Who already knows Git? Okay.
Sven a little bit.
Okay. He's using it on a daily basis. Okay. So what's the typical use case for Git? Is it more programming stuff like code or documents, your personal stuff, websites, deployment? So what are you using it for?
All of that.
Yeah. All of that. Okay. So I think all of you also know GitHub, Bitbucket, stuff like that. Is it already okay? So then the main question, what do you want to learn during this talk if you already know everything? Is there something?
I just want to be amused now.
Amused, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so then I will stop everything I've planned so far because I already know the basics, what this talk will be about. And yeah, I try to start with a Git client for the command line called TIG. You already know that. Okay, for those who don't know, at least some of you don't know, I think, it's just Git reverse order and it's written in Python, if I'm right. And it uses Vim typical key bindings like HAKL and stuff like that. And has different start nodes, so you can call it with refs to show every reference Git has in this repository, or with status to see the current status and stuff like that. And like fugitive for Vim, it also can adjust what will be committed and stuff like that. I'm using it mainly as an alternative for UI clients on the command line, especially at work where I can't use source tree and stuff like that, because it's a Gen 2 system, to get an overview in which state my current working directory is, so where is which branch on which remote and stuff like that. So because even I couldn't find any other command line tool that has a graph I can work with in such a way. Yeah. So another thing I think most of you already know is inside the gitconfig file aliases, which will speed up everything. So I'm not so much into them, just my typical use cases: H for reset hard, fab for fetch or prune, com for commit, C for checkout, S for status, and DC for diff-cache, because my workflow typical is I'm working on a new feature and add with fugitive GW to the staging, and need a diff-cache, of course, to see what I've already staged so far. Yeah, merge tools are different ones. I'm using kdiff3 in my old company as a UI version, and now try to get used more to vimdiff, which is nicer than I've thought. Then there's another nice tool, diff-highlight for command line. Who's familiar with this? Diff-highlight is a program that will color inline differences. So if you change something on your command line, it will show and highlight the differences inline. So let's create a small example. Should typically work. Yeah, so that's what it's actually doing. because without the program it's hard to find the difference in a line. On a command line, Vim always provides this if you're opening the diff with Vim, but on command line this wouldn't work otherwise, so it's hard to see where's the difference, especially if it's at the end of the line or multiple parts in the line. So that can be downloaded from GitHub, diff-highlight, and needs a very small configuration, which is just this, so you will pipe it through the program first, the output, so you can adjust the colors. Yeah. Also, which I'm using is a template for the commit messages, which can be any text file that's preloaded into your commit, so you can exchange it and have your conventions of the company with the markup. What I'm also using is, of course, versioning of my configuration files. So for that case, I include another file which is not under version control, so I can override some parts for the different personalizations like company and stuff like that. Like my email address for the company and stuff like that. Yeah, and of course I'm having a global git-ignore file where I can put stuff into like the swap files of Vim and stuff like that. And I'm frustrated that most of my coworkers don't know that and put their PHP some idea folder into the project ignore and mess up the stuff. Yeah. So what else can I show? Are you using multiple remotes with one and the same repository always? Okay. So and of course you also know rebasing and stuff like that, merging. Also, do you know how to add just specific lines into the same commit from the command line already with the patch option? Okay. Yeah. So perhaps we can turn it around, and if you have any questions, I try to answer that instead of asking if you know and just get yes, we already knows.
Could you show the pager section again?
So what?
Pager section in your config?
Pager section? Yes, of course. And I also can put it on my website so I can look it up afterwards if you're interested. My configuration paths aren't publicly available because I'm not 100% sure whether I had information in such a repository backwards, which shouldn't be public. That's the only reason. So I can make any part public once you want them to have. But it should also be mentioned on that should be the repository, and they have the same configuration there, and you can adjust the colors they use and stuff like that. So I will paste that to the GitHub. So IRC, so you can just grab it there, clone it, and use it and configure it.
So let me just mention that's why we use IRC in the background. Everything gets pasted there. So if you're listening, you have a copy. If you don't, then you've got to remember it. Pretty obvious, right?
Okay. Yeah, and vimdiff also is known by everyone. Are you using actual vimdiff or something else for merge?
Sometimes using meld as a GUI tool, which is
Meld
with V at the end. It's quite nice. Occasionally vimdiff too.
Yeah. I've seen that, but didn't try it out yet. Okay, and what are the reasons for you using a UI tool instead of a command line tool? It's just fancier and more helpful, or does it have a different color set?
I'm just more familiar with meld so far. Maybe I should try vimdiff more intensively. Yeah.
Yeah, I was used to source tree, which doesn't have a merge itself, so I'm using a file diff of Mac, which was pretty nice and easy because most tools don't have the inline difference highlighting, but file diff has, so that was a big advantage why I'm using that, but as pointed out, Vim has it too, so it's easy, and yeah, that's the main focus and reason I'm using that. I've tried different tools on the Mac, and most don't even get where's the difference to merge and which parts are related. So that's why I was used to git-lfs because it got many things right, and also solve merge conflicts itself without opening the UI sometimes.
So the word highlighting in a line is done by configuration by doing that diff-highlight, right? And that applies to Vim diff then as well.
Yes, it's used as it's piped through this tool, and it will do in diff itself and adds a sequence for the highlighting, so the background correct. If I get it right, it's a Perl script.
It's really good, really great tool.
Yes, it's a Perl script. I'm not so much into Perl, so I don't know what exactly is going on. But what it basically does is just finds a difference and adds a highlighting. So that's the whole magic. And it's in the official Git repository under contrib. So I didn't take a deeper look what's else in there, like completion and emails. Yeah. So perhaps there's something more someone can look into if that's interesting.
That's a great hint. Great tool. Really nice.
Yeah, I was frustrated because it's one of the main features I need to see the difference. And if someone exchanged an attribute or argument in a line, or just a typo, then you don't get the point and don't know which one to use. So at least one thing I could show you.
And maybe could you switch back to the config file, please?
Yes, of course. Is there something?
You have a section filter. What are you doing there?
Yeah, good question. I have 2 comments in this file. I have much more in Vim because I walk through my Vim configuration and take a look, okay, what was that? So I can remember it with the comments. Yeah. Clean smudge, I don't even know what smudge is.
I have the same lines in my gitconfig and I don't know what
So, yeah, I think I'll copy it.
Sometimes it was.
Maybe a hint from Scott's Jason.
It's for large files, LFS, filter large files. Yeah, I think it will check which are large files and ignore them. No, it's a git large file storage of GitHub. Yeah, I think I've copied it from somewhere and didn't use it. Basically, yes, GitHub or Git has introduced a feature to move large files to somewhere else, to the cloud, if I remember correctly, and just download them once you use them. So grabbing the whole history won't grab all the binary files, PSD files or stuff like that, but just on the first read. I think it's that. But I'm not 100% sure.
Having on the description of big files in the repository and download them only, they actually is useful to manage big files because it works very badly with big files.
But it's interesting to have it there and don't know why and where. And I think it was one open source project like Type3 or something else that recommended that, and I just put it there and didn't care. Yeah, also I've highlighted white spaces in diff to see them and know, okay, I've introduced white spaces which can't happen because I'm using Vim and have an auto command to strip white spaces, but if someone else introduced them, so I can see them. Yes, and also turned on color file listing. Using rebasing for git pull. And yeah, I can just git push and will push to the default, the current branch, and I don't have to git push and the branch name.
the change with git 1.8?
Maybe I
It's
didn't
not
adjust.
necessary.
I didn't adjust the configuration for a long time.
I think git 1.7 printed the message out that this change will happen, so
Yeah.
that's why I remember that.
Every time I connect to a new server with Git, it will tell another message and says, okay, you can set this configuration or
Yeah.
this configuration, and this will go away. And yeah, because every server has a different version of Git. So how much do you use TIG? Just for programming like me, or for more like staging and
Yeah, I use it for staging, for watching the diffs, also for checking the log, git log. So I also like tick blame. Tick
Yeah.
blame is really great.
For blame, I'm using Fugitive because most of the time I'm right at the code. I want to know, okay, who's introduced this, who has changed this, and why. But I'm not so much into Fugitive right now, so I grab the commit and use TIG to bring the diff up. Yeah. It's not that smooth yet, but it's so much to learn.
Well, in tick you can see the whole file, and in each line you see the git commit reference. So you can just enter that line and directly get into the diff.
Okay, that's just for the file, the current state. And how is the workflow for that?
It's just that when I have a specific line in the code, where I want to see who was the last one touching it, then I run tick blame
Yeah.
with the file path. Yeah, exactly as you did.
Yeah.
And then I see all lines of the code, and I can do / for searching the line.
Okay.
On the left side, you see all the lines. Then, no, this is it diff view.
Yeah, that's what
I
I
saw,
want.
because you have just
That's
done,
what
right?
we want.
Maybe use any repository from GitHub. Yeah,
Ah,
it
okay.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I expected. Okay. And I can just push and then we'll see the commit.
Exactly.
Nice. Yeah, there's so much like TIG, Fugitive, quick fix, the location list, and the preview window. I have to take a deeper look at. It's so much still. Yeah. Still after 2 years of using Vim for the whole day, it's just okay. I have still to learn a lot of things. And even if you're